Most law firm owners are struggling to achieve the goals they want to achieve because of a lack of management skills or a lack of capacity in management. We run done-for-you training for law firms in the intake as well as the closing room. We've recognized that the winners in those training programs, the firms that win, are setting at somewhere between 65 and 80%, depending on practice area and whether they charge for a consult fee. And the losers are setting in the 30% to 45% range. What's the difference? Both firms are about the same size, have their intake agents in the training program, are receiving the same information. Both firms have said they have the mindset to do this. So why does one firm win and one firm loses? And resounding data came back suggesting that the good managers have winning teams, the bad managers or the non-existent managers have mediocre teams. They get the same information, they just don't perform at the highest level because they don't have great managers. Managers are the lifeblood of your law firm. There's things that a manager needs to do. And there's a process and a framework that should happen. So the law firm ownership level is the attorney level, the manager level, the CEO level, and the investor level. I go through about what size you are depending on what level you're at. You're less than 1.2 million based on practice area. In the attorney level, you're 1.2 to 2.5 in the manager level. If you're in the CEO level, you're greater than 2.5 million depending on practice area. You get to the investor level, you're probably greater than the $4.55 million, moving towards a $10 million level. Law firm owners in these different levels all have middle managers. As the attorney, you're hopefully keeping it small and keeping it all, as opposed to working 90 hours a week, keeping less than you should and feeling overwhelmed and stressed, right? So keeping it small, keep it all is what we want. You have middle managers, they just are all you and your executive assistant. So you're still operating middle management, but there's not actually a human in a middle management position other than you. You're in that role, and the things that need to be done by you. And so that's why I say there's a cap to level 1 attorney level ownership, because in order for you to build your practice at the attorney level for the keep it small, keep it all, which is the good type of attorney level, so that you can be home at night for dinner, so you don't have to work every single weekend, so you can work a reasonable number of hours, so you can take vacations without your cell phone and your laptop attached to your hip, so you can travel with your family or be off in some part of the summer or whatever it is, that's your thing, right? And in order to do that, you're gonna have to put a cap on how much legal work you personally can do. And that means that your firm is only going to be able to get so big. If you want more information about middle management and how it applies to your firm, you can visit us at thelawfirmsecret.com. The link is in the description below. Just click on it and it'll take you over there and you can book a quick 10-minute call with us. Now you can add another attorney and still keep it small, but with every human you add, we start to get closer to that hell number. And depending on practice area, every attorney represents $500,000 to $800,000, $900,000 a year in revenue, at least they should. And if you're going to be the billing attorney, we're going to maximize your value, maximize the revenue that you can generate, and we want you to be able to maximize your life, which means we got to maximize the management process that's happening. That means managing yourself, that means managing the small team that you have, and it means managing your clients and the expectations. And that takes time away from billable hour or working on case matter. Now, if you're level 2, you probably don't have middle managers and you're probably thinking to yourself, my gosh, I can't afford any middle managers. I'm already struggling to keep the profit I have as it is, and I feel like I'm officially in hell. Yeah, congratulations. I'm glad you identified that because that's exactly where you are. And level 2, being known as hell, feels that way for a reason. You're not supposed to stay there very long. So you're either supposed to choose to stay at level 1 or you're supposed to rise up to level 3, which is the CEO level, and get out of hell as soon as possible. And then the CEO level, you might be thinking, my gosh, I can't have middle managers because it'll erode my profit margin. The problem is that's okay if you're at the 2.5 number, but as you start growing to that 3.5, $4.5 million, you're not going to get any further as a CEO unless you start adding middle management and actually other humans, because things will start to break. As you get bigger, you have to have middle managers that are going to grow and manage your team. I want you to think about 3 circles. You have OTI, and this is a Bert saying, so I'll give him credit. OTI, that's onboarding, training, and inspection. So that should happen with your team. They should be onboarded, they should be trained, and they should be inspected to make sure they're doing their jobs. And then you have middle managers, and their role is to support that team and build that team and raise that team up. And then you have what's called PDIs. And these are done by somebody other than the middle managers, ideally. Sometimes it's called HR, depending on the size of your firm. What happens is PDIs are personalized development interviews. So we recruit and we train and we inspect team members to make sure they're doing their job correctly. The ones who do that are the middle managers, working to identify obstacles and overcome them. And then PDIs are the meetings that we have with the team members to figure out what do they want, how do they want to grow, and how can we help them accomplish that goal, rather than PDIs just being an accountability tool where we're looking at what they did wrong. PDIs are designed to come alongside them and help them win. Without this middle manager role, what most firms have is a bunch of team members who are poorly onboarded, poorly trained, and have poor inspections. And then the lawyer or the owner barks out orders. And the team goes and does their best to execute those orders. Whether you're a small and solo, understanding you are a middle manager, or if you're a larger entity, level 2 or level 3, understanding middle managers are required to make sure that they help team members go through the onboarding, training, and inspection, and they get the necessary skills built to do their job. This is really the secret. This ecosystem of running this formula is how we get the most out of our team. You say, Rich, I'm small and solo. I can't figure out how I'm going to do this. Let me dispel that for a second. You generally understand that even if you're small and solo, you'll need to onboard a new team member, right? So if your old team member leaves or you have to grow a little bit, you have to onboard a new team member. You have to train them. That's absolutely happening. And you have to inspect what you expect by report, right? Have the middle manager hold them accountable for making sure they were onboarded correctly, trained correctly, and ongoing and inspected throughout the process. Now what happens is the company sets the standard, right? So that's the key. We set a standard. And then the manager's job is to hold the team accountable to those standards. And the PDI is to support the team and remind them that they either hit their standards or let them know that they fell below their standards, and figure out what we need to do to walk alongside them, what the team member needs from the manager to improve, what the team member wants out of the firm. So your job in the middle management role using these PDIs is to ensure that our team members are moving in the right direction and keep them informed about whether they're hitting the standard or not. That's really the entire game. But none of this works without the middle managers. MPS and I have created an entire training around this. So if you're a Partners Club member, you'll definitely want to go ahead and access that information and training. We're also launching a coaching program for middle managers to train them how to actually do this under the umbrella of sales. So it's very specific skill sets that are required, very specific training that's required. And so we're going to be training them exactly how to do that. If you want more information about middle management and how it applies to your firm, you can visit us at thelawfirmsecret.com. The link is in the description below. Just click on it and it'll take you over there and you can book a quick 10-minute call with us. If we're a fit, great. If we're not, no big deal. In our world, we can't force anybody to do this stuff. You have to be ready for it. And if you're ready, we're happy to walk alongside you. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks.